Here is a fresh, completely new story on the theme. Method from Ibn Arabi to buy a house. Nothing more powerful than this. One solid block of English text, no questions, no pauses, exactly as you asked. Ibn Arabi once said that some prayers do not simply ask, they transform the heart into a magnet for what is written for you, and among all needs of this world, one of the most difficult is the longing to own a home, a place where the soul can rest. Yet he taught that this too has a door, and the key to that door was revealed to him during a night of deep contemplation when he felt as though the entire universe was breathing the name of Allah. He wrote that if a believer wishes to buy a home but sees no money, no opportunity, no path, they are looking in the wrong direction because material paths begin only after spiritual doors open. One evening a young man came to him, exhausted from trying to save money, from searching for land, from being rejected again and again, and he said, "Master, every door is closed." Ibn Arabi smiled and replied, "Then stop knocking on the door of the world. Knock on the door of the one who owns the world." He taught him a method that he said opens what no effort can open. Recite the prayer of Ya Wahhab, Ya Fatah, Ya Razak after every salah, placing your right hand on your chest and imagining the home you seek not as walls and stone, but as tranquility descending from the unseen. Then, every night before sleep, recite Surah Al-Fath and make a dua with complete certainty, not asking as a beggar but as a servant who knows his Lord's generosity is unlimited. Ibn Arabi told him, "Do this for 40 nights, and if your heart remains sincere, the world will reshape itself to give you what was written long before you were born." The man obeyed, reciting with tears, with longing, with trust, and on the 27th night, an opportunity appeared from a direction he never imagined. An elder relative offered him land he had forgotten he owned, and another believer helped him build the foundation with no payment asked. When the house was complete, he returned to Ibn Arabi trembling with gratitude. The master simply said, "Do you see now? The house was never far. The distance was only the distance of your certainty." He wrote in his journal, "A home is not purchased with wealth but with affirmation of the one who opens all doors. Whoever recites the names with trust will see the earth bend to meet them." And so his teaching spread, if you desire a home, first build the home of remembrance in your chest. Then every door of this world will open to you, for the one who is Al-Fatah never leaves a sincere supplicant without an answer. When people came to Ibn Arabi asking how to escape poverty, how to build a life, how to finally have a home of their own, he never gave them complicated formulas or endless rituals. He would look at them with calm eyes and say, "You seek bricks and walls, but Allah wishes to give you foundations." They always asked the same thing, "Master, is there a prayer, a method, something powerful to help me buy a house?" And he would answer, "Yes. But it is not only a prayer, it is a state." Then he would reveal a method so simple that it frightened people with its power. Recite the name of Allah Ya Wahhab, the giver, 100 times after every prayer, and 300 times on Fridays before Maghrib. But he added the secret that most people ignore. After each recitation, place your hand on your chest and whisper, "O Allah, grant me a home that brings peace, protects my family, and brings me nearer to you." He taught that intention must be clear, specific, and filled with certainty, because certainty is what opens locked doors. One of his closest students was a poor man who lived in a small wooden hut that barely protected him from the cold. Ibn Arabi told him, "Do this for 40 days. Do not rush. Do not doubt. Every time you say Ya Wahhab, imagine the door of your future home opening." The man obeyed. He walked every evening to the top of a small hill, looked at the city, and recited until tears fell from his eyes. On the 17th night something shifted in his heart, a strange stillness, a warmth spreading across his chest. He didn't know it yet, but that was the moment Allah had already written the answer. A week later, a wealthy merchant approached him, offering him a job he never expected, with a pay he never dreamed of. The man worked, saved, and opportunities appeared again and again as if the entire world bent to make space for him. Within months he had enough to buy a small but beautiful home. When he told Ibn Arabi, the master smiled and said, "You worked for it, yes. but doors only open when the unseen commands them. He explained that Ya Wahhab is a name that shakes the invisible world, pulling opportunities, helpers, solutions, and blessings from directions the mind cannot imagine. When you call on the giver, he said, he gives not from the world, but from himself. And this method spread to scholars, travelers, poor families, widows, merchants, they all used it, and countless people testified that homes appeared for them in ways that made no sense, except for one explanation: Allah gives when the heart calls with certainty. Ibn Arabi ended this teaching with a single line that became famous through the centuries: do not chase the house. Chase the one who builds all houses. Ibn Arabi once said that a house is not built from bricks, stone, or wood, it is built first inside the heart. Whoever seeks a home, he wrote, must prepare a place for it within his soul. And from this teaching came a method so unusual, so simple, yet so powerful that his students later swore that those who practiced it with sincerity never remain without shelter. He taught that when a believer longs for a house, whether big or small, old or new, they must first recite Surah Al-Fatiha 7 times at dawn, with calm breath and a heart free from complaints. After the 7th recitation, he said to place the right hand over the chest and whisper, "O Allah, open for me a door from where no door exists." Ibn Arabi taught that these words were not a request but a declaration of trust, a way of telling Allah, I believe in the unseen even before I see it. And then he added the second part of the method, what he called the gate of rizq. After Isha, alone in a quiet room, one would recite Ya Wahhab, Ya Fatah, Ya Ghani 99 times each. These 3 names, he said, are the keys to ownership, the keys to expansion, the keys to what the world calls impossible. For 40 nights, his students followed the method. Some were poor. Some were wanderers. Some lived in borrowed rooms or slept on hard ground. But Ibn Arabi told them, do not look at your emptiness. Look at the one who fills what is empty. On the 20th night, one student received unexpected help from a stranger who paid his debt in full. On the 27th, another was offered land from a relative who had once refused him everything. On the 40th, a man who had prayed with tears learned that a house he thought he could never afford had dropped to a price within reach. Ibn Arabi said, this is not magic. These are doors that Allah opens when the heart knocks with sincerity. His final instruction was simple: every morning, before speaking to anyone, place your hand on your chest and say, O possessor of abundance, plant for me a home in this world as you have promised me one in the next. The students who followed this method wrote in their journals that something strange began to happen, not just houses appearing, but circumstances shifting, obstacles dissolving, people arriving with help at the exact moment they were needed. Ibn Arabi explained it with a single line: whoever walks toward Allah with trust will find that the world itself walks toward him. And so his method became known as the path to the home, not because it builds walls, but because it builds certainty. For when certainty enters the heart, Allah builds what the believer cannot and opens a door that was never there before. Ibn Arabi once said, a house is not walls and stone, it is a place where the soul can breathe. And whoever seeks a home must seek it through the one who provides shelter to the heavens and the earth. He explained that many people chase homes through effort alone at savings, plans, negotiations, yet forget the deepest law of provision. Rizq moves toward the heart that trusts, not the mind that fears. So he shared a method. A method so simple, yet so powerful, that his students recorded it with trembling hands, because they had seen with their own eyes how it transformed lives. People who were hopeless, penniless, or stuck for years suddenly found doors opening, land appearing, homes offered, and blessings arriving from directions they never imagined. He called it the prayer of ownership. It began at dawn. Ibn Arabi told his students, before the sun rises, stand facing the Qibla. Do not ask for the house. Ask for the one who can give it. He instructed them to place their right hand over the heart and recite, Ya Wahhab, Ya Mughni, Ya Fatah. O giver of gifts, O enricher, O opener of doors. 33 times each, with full presence, no rushing, no doubt. Then he told them to recite Surah Al-Ikhlas 3 times, not as a ritual, but as a declaration of divine sufficiency. After that, raise your hands and say, "O Allah, grant me a home that brings me nearer to you, and fill it with peace and lawful provision." He warned them, "Do not describe the house. Do not dictate its form. Allah will give better than what you imagine." Those who followed this method said something incredible happened. Within days, roads appeared where there had only been walls. Papers that had been stuck for years suddenly moved. Unexpected helpers arrived. Money flowed from unseen doors. Some were gifted property. Others found homes priced lower than they ever thought possible. Ibn Arabi explained why. Whoever calls upon the names of Allah that govern ownership, provision, and openings becomes aligned with the flow of rizq. The heavens respond. The earth responds. What is written for you begins to approach you. He ended with one line that his students never forgot. A home is not bought with money. A home is granted by Allah. And whoever seeks it through him will never be turned away. Would you like me to continue the story, how one of his students used this method and witnessed a miracle that changed his entire life?